Would you like to join us as we turn in the monsters? Mizuki asked. We're actually waiting to meet with our fellow group members who went out hunting in a different area. The cat-eared woman blinked her eyes, clearly not expecting the offer to be made. We're also pretty new to this area, so it would be nice to interact with others that are just starting out, Mizuki added. Ayaka looked at Mizuki and then at the woman. She also didn't expect that Mizuki would invite the woman to hang out with them, but thinking about it, there didn't seem to be anything wrong with it. It would be interesting to get to know someone that exists in the simulation, Ayaka mentally shrugged. Getting a hold of herself, the woman shyly smiled. If you're offering, I guess it would be nice to chat. They were now waiting in line to enter the town. Compared to earlier, the people surrounding them were merely adventurers. From the conversations around them, the adventurers just talked about what the hunt was like for them that day. There were some that complained how difficult it was to find a particular monster, while others teased their teammates about getting injured by a monster. A few adventurers complained about equipment after getting their armor damaged. When she heard about that, Ayaka couldn't help but wince in empathy. She looked down at her own vest to see some of the scrapes from horned rabbits. The idea of spending even more money on equipment wasn't something she enjoyed. I guess I'll check out the auction house tonight, Ayaka thought to herself. Though it hurt seeing the high prices, she was hopeful that there would be an item that was lower in cost. There were consistently new items that were added to the auction house from new adventurers starting out on their crafting journey. This meant that it was possible that there would be a low-cost item she could snatch up before someone else noticed. Ayaka looked at the cat-eared woman to see what items the woman carried. The first thing she noticed was a sheath for a small dagger, barely long enough to be used to hunt monsters, though it would be limited to horned rabbits. Ayaka doubted that the blade would be strong enough to cut into the hide of a grassland boar. Aside from the dagger, she was startled to see that the woman had nothing else. What she thought was armor was just simple clothing. When the woman had approached them, Ayaka didn't notice this fact, likely just assuming that all adventurers had armor. Did you hunt horned rabbits with just your dagger? Ayaka asked. Due to Ayaka's question, Mizuki had returned her attention to the woman. She seemed to be preoccupied earlier as they were waiting in line. Being called out by Ayaka, the woman lowered her gaze in embarrassment. Sorry, Ayaka said after seeing the reaction. She just realized how rude of a question it was, making her regret even asking. The woman touched the dagger hanging from a belt on her waist. It was what I used in the village. Not really meant to hunt monsters, but it was all I had, she answered in a quiet voice. Rubbing the back of her head, Ayaka looked up at the sky. She quickly tried to think of something to make up for the uncomfortable atmosphere. Have you checked out the shops inside the guild? Though it's expensive, there could be one that you could aim for, Mizuki said, trying to smooth things over. Nodding, the woman said, I tried checking out the stores, but even the cheapest dagger is worth more than 20 guild points. Hearing how much the dagger cost, Ayaka was afraid to ask but continued. How many horned rabbits did you catch? The woman raised her index and middle finger. 2? Ayaka reflexively asked, not being able to help herself. Even Mizuki looked to not know what to think of the small number. Ayaka couldn't help but look at the monsters they had gathered. Then there was the amount of guild points that already existed in their bracelets, even after spending the money earlier for the cards and equipment.